This past weekend, the final round in the annual Zita Bernstein Competition took place at the Desautels Faculty of Music, a celebration of German lieder. 9 talented singers indulged in rich harmony, beautiful melodies, and poetic imagery that are hallmarks of the genre. This year, soprano Hannah Orr was announced as the winner, with baritone Jaden Fraser earning the runner-up prize. Both Hannah and Jaden have joined me in studio along with faculty instructor Tracy Dahl. Good morning, all.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for having us.
Well, thank you for being here, and congrats on your success in the Zita Bernstein Competition. Hannah, how does it feel to be this year's winner?
I'm really, really happy. It was an incredible opportunity, and honestly, I was just, I guess I'm just going to say I was really, really happy. That's all I can really think of to say, honestly, at this moment.
Well, it's very, very exciting indeed. You're a third-year singer in the faculty, is that right?
I am. I'm in my third year in vocal performance.
And you're studying with?
Monica Huseman.
Tell us a little bit about... You're not originally from Winnipeg, right?
No, I'm not. I'm actually from a small town in Alberta. I'm called McGrath, and that's where I was born and raised. And I decided to come here for my undergrad.
Yeah. What brought you to Winnipeg?
Well, I had a couple different options about where I wanted to go, but my voice teacher, her name was Erin of Dockmoff Roberts, she had heard great things about the faculty, and so I auditioned here, and I got to have some trial lessons with Monica, Tracy, and Mel, and I loved the unique quality about the school and the welcoming aspect about it. Like, everyone was so kind and uplifting and just very knowledgeable too. Like, I felt like I learned a lot in even just those 3 little trial lessons, and I was like, you know, it felt right, and here I am.
Here you are in third year, winner of this year's Zita Bernstein Competition. Tell us about what you sang on Sunday.
Well, I started with Einerlei by Strauss, which was, originally I had a really hard time with it, because it's a beautiful, beautiful piece, but I don't know, something about it was always kind of feeling stuck in my body a lot with it, but what day was it? Was it Sunday? It was on Sunday. Yeah. That's right. It was on Sunday. I felt very free and open, and the poetry is very, very beautiful, and it's talking about, a love that, has been going on forever, and, that the qualities that you love about a person never change. And then I went to Die Bekehrte by Wolf, which was my favorite. That one is so beautiful. It has a really dark quality to it, and very emotional, very, very emotional. And that's one thing I love about German lieder, is it kind of opens up all aspects of emotion and kind of very soul-stirring. And then I ended with Versunken by Schubert, which is a very, very fun one. Very fast, very flirty, and it was a fun set of lieder to do, and I was really happy and excited to do it.
Yeah, and you should be. It sounds like you really got to run the gamut in terms of what you're performing.
For sure.
And a big part of German lieder, and I guess this has to do with a lot of singing, but something about the intimacy of the genre and how it's happening is with whom you are performing, right? Like, it's such a partnership between singers and pianists. So
100%.
Who were you up on stage with?
I was with Megan Dufrat, and it was actually really funny. I was in the finals last year as well, and Megan's just such a great collaborator because she's so kind and sweet, and we just feel like a team. And we actually had a team name. We came up with a team name called Megham. And so it really did feel like a partnership, and it felt like I wasn't singing a solo up there. It felt like I was doing a duet, which is a kind of a unique experience to have.
Jaden, let me turn the mic over to you. Tell us, what you sang on Sunday and with whom you were performing.
Yeah, so I started my set off with 2 pieces from Wolf's Italienisch Liederbuch, Geselle von wir uns in Kuttenhöhlen, which is about this kind of conniving character who decides to dress up as a monk and kind of see what he can get from the people in his town. And I followed that up with Und willst du deinen Liebsten sterben sehen, which is this beautiful, intimate piece about this person asking his lover to let their hair down. So there's some implications in that, which are really fun to play. And I finished it off with Wenn mein Schatz Hochzeit macht, which is the first piece from Mahler's Lieder eines fremden Gesellen, which is this typically orchestral, but great with piano as well. Beautiful, tragic story of this man who his beloved is going off to get married with someone else. And I was up on stage with one of my dear friends and collaborators, Annika Workington, who's currently working on her master's at the U of M.
Well, again, congrats on being this year's runner-up. Like Hannah, you're in third year, right? Though unlike Hannah, you're from Winnipeg.
Yes, I am, born and raised.
So tell us a little bit about where you're at in your studies and with whom at the Desautels Faculty of Music.
Yeah, so I'm studying with Mel Braun. He's great.
He is.
Just super knowledgeable. We work on a variety of repertoire, which is fantastic. Art song, opera, musical theater sometimes, oratorio. And just having that kind of variety is really great for me as someone who came into classical music a little later and started in high school with musical theater. And now I'm kind of feeling like I'm kind of hitting my stride and figuring out what this is all about, which is really exciting.
Tell us about your discovery of German lieder then. Like, obviously this isn't something that you, well, maybe not obviously, but is it something you kind of grew up singing it, or is it something that you've come to love and really find at the faculty?
Yeah, so I remember I started taking voice lessons a couple years before I auditioned for the faculty with one of the graduates, actually. His name's Stephen Heiko Penna.
Yeah. He was a year ahead of me.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
He's awesome.
And I remember we started working on musical theater, just kind of general singing lessons, working on tone, technique, singing in different registers, stuff like that. And one day he hands me this German lieder. And it was Die Krähe from Winterreise, which is like musically simple, but emotionally devastating. And he's like, go listen to some recordings, figure out how to sing this. And I remember just having to like piece the language together and my own like little makeshift language of, okay, I know what this sound is. And of course I hadn't heard what IPA was at this point.
Yeah.
It was just this super exciting journey, and it's become even more fun to dig in deeper with Mel and with the other teachers at the university. So it's just been every year I feel like I can discover like a new secret in the music. It's so rich with storytelling and information that you can use as a performer. So it's I love doing it so much.
You can hear that passion in your voice for sure. It is certainly going to open up a lifetime of discovery as you continue to grow with this music. Tracy, I want to bring you into the conversation because I couldn't be there on Sunday, but I heard nothing but outstanding things about the artistry, the young talent that was up on stage. Can you elaborate that a little bit more? Can you elaborate on that a little bit more, kind of looking back on this competition?
Well, it began in December. There were 16 singers, all singing 3 pieces of German lieder. And we only had one song that was repeated. So imagine, that's 47 pieces of German lieder going around the school and people talking about their poetry and talking about the language and working on it with their teachers. The IPA is the International Phonetic Alphabet. So they're learning how to do this. And what I find most wonderful about these students is their curiosity, is that they're looking, some of them are given the songs, right? Their teachers say, this is what you're going to sing, and we hope they like the pieces. And other times now, like you're going into 4th year, next year, they may say, I would really like to sing this. I've heard this. And that's when it gets exciting for us, because we start to see that bubbling up of, we've given you information starting to turn into their own path of discovery and the curiosity that takes them further. So, you get grabbed in or brought into that music because it was so complicated and yet the music was so simple. Well, why? That's always the question we ask. And we've continued now this week with master classes by the people who adjudicated on the weekend. So Lara Jakevich, Robert Harriott, and our own Laura Lowen have been working in teams and then exploring the music deeper, and probably most from that perspective of, why do you think this accent is in the music? That's something certainly that I always say to my students is look down in the score. What's there? Why is it there? Why does Schubert change the rhythm? Something's happened. What changed? And so they really are exploring it from so many different ways. And it's reaching a lot of our student body. I mean, we started with 16 students, came down to 9, and they did a beautiful job on Sunday.
Now, this is a competition named for Zita Bernstein.
Yes.
I'm curious, can you tell us a little bit about her love of German lieder and the sort of history of the competition?
Yes, it's well over 25 years old now.
Yeah.
And it's been there as long as I've been there. Stacey Nattrass, our national anthem singer, was the first winner. And Zita Bernstein loved lieder. She just loved, and she said that she didn't need to see the translations because if the singers were really communicating, she knew exactly what they were saying. And music just spoke to her. And they would make trips to hear German lieder. Like they'd go, I want to hear this recital, and they'd plan trips around that. So Mark and the family decided for her 70th birthday that they would begin this competition in honor of her love of the music and to pass it on to another generation and to get them excited about the music as well.
And I know the family is often there for these performances that happen. Was that the case this year as well?
Yes, Mariam was there.
wonderful.
Tamara has been in the past. She wasn't there this year, but we're in touch with them all the time. And there's a third sister, but those are the two that I've had the most contact with.
Well, what a special competition this is. And what an opportunity for young artists to get up on stage and like you say, really explore and discover and share their artistry in this really intimate and beautiful and unique genre. I mean, German lieder is just one of those that is a hallmark of the classical tradition. And to have it on display in such a grand fashion by young artists, I mean, we're lucky to have it happening here in the city, aren't we?
It is. It's a wonderful opportunity for them to have a concert. You know, I really didn't feel like a competition to me. I know that it was, but it felt like a concert. And, you know, it's an intimate type of communication. We were talking about the difference about that in the master class yesterday and saying how being in doing recital repertoire lieder is very vulnerable because there isn't a set and you are just that person. And are you talking to the audience? Are you talking to God? Who are you talking to? But it is very incredibly vulnerable to put yourself up there and sing a piece that's devastating. The piece that Hannah sang starts off with this. You think, well, this sounds a little sad, but it isn't really that sad until you hear the middle part of the song and you go, oh, she was really passionately involved with someone who was a very bad person. And by the last time she comes back to the music, her realization of that hits her. That's making yourself vulnerable in front of people. And to do that with your voice, which is where we all get that lump in our throat when we're getting emotional. So we have to find that place of not getting so that we cry, but that we are in touch with those emotions. It's really lovely.
Well, thank you all for coming in this morning. Hannah, Jaden, congrats again on your success in Zita Bernstein this year. So excited to see what y'all do in this third year and then fourth year and then thereafter. Hopefully we'll have you back. And Tracy, it's always a delight to have you on the program.
Thank you for having us all here.
And again,
Thank you
the
so
Zita
much.
Bernstein competition wrapped up this past Sunday. And, well, what a joy it is to hear from some of these artists as we hear from another one of the greats, this Elizabeth Schwarzkopf, to close out the conversation.